Hey everybody, I'm Mark David here, and I have Brian Fleming, and today we are chatting a little bit more about wealth creation in your personal lives, and we're happy to have you in on our conversation. So, Brian, again, it's always a pleasure talking with you, and tell me a little bit more about your background and what you're doing.
Well, it's great to be here with you as well. It's great that you and I and a couple other folks are, working together to kind of create a group to talk about wealth creation. Quite often, I see a question asked, "What do you wish you would have learned in school that you didn't?" And quite often, the same answer comes up: money, finances, taxes, things like that. My background, prior to being a police officer, which I was for 25 years, I had a number of other things, trying another things, and being an insurance agent was one of them. Well, and then went on and I became a cop for 25 years. And while I was doing that, I stumbled on a concept called the infinite banking concept. It's insurance related. So I kind of tell my story like this. I had my insurance licenses over 30 years ago. I realized knocking on doors to make a living wasn't as fun as kicking them in, so I became a cop. Well, now I'm back in insurance because I stumbled on a concept that involves an insurance product. And I'm very passionate about it because I started to learn a lot of things about money like we haven't been taught. And I love to share those with people, whether they use that information, it's up to them.
That yeah, and I think you're spot on with, like, so many people need to know more about that, and they just don't. Uh, when you've been helping individuals, what would you say is the most rewarding or inspiring with what you're doing right now?
Well, there's kind of two things. Again, with what I do, the infinite banking concept basically is using a properly designed dividend paying whole life insurance product to store your money. Most of the premium you pay for the policy goes to the cash value, which is then usable to finance things in your life. So it has to do with life insurance. So the two rewarding things I get out of this is, number one, I get to show people how money works, how it can really work very well for them in a life insurance policy. But then it's always the life insurance side of things. We need life insurance. We just do. Many people don't have it or don't think they need it, whatever. But for me to be able to put a policy on somebody is very rewarding. And it doesn't even have to be one of these policies I do for the infinite banking concept. Could be something completely different, just so they have coverage should something happen. I mean, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. So if that happens too early, they need the protection, especially if they're married, have kids, all that kind of stuff. So that's very rewarding for me as well.
Yeah, a lot of great information there. Uh, do you have any, like, recent stories of clients that you did effectively change their lives with some of your services?
Yeah, matter of fact, I mean, going back to both what I just described, when I first got into this, when I stumbled on this concept back in like 2010, 2011, I started to talk to a couple that were in a real estate investment club that I used to run in the Milwaukee area. And they said, "This is a neat idea. We're not ready for it, but we do need life insurance." So he went to work. She stayed at home. They had rental properties. So they didn't get a policy for the infinite banking concept, but they got term life insurance. And that's fine. They got $1 million death benefit on him and $1 million death benefit on her, just so they had coverage. And they were going to convert that later on to whole life for the infinite banking concept. Well, I think it was about 3 years into this, he passed away. So, again, he was the breadwinner working, and she was staying at home, but they both took care of the rental properties. So now she got $1 million death benefit. It's not a lottery. You don't have life insurance because you're winning a lottery. You have it for protection and to take care of people, after you pass away. So she had this benefit, which, completely puts her at ease financially once she loses her husband. That's huge. It's absolutely huge to be able to have some protection, have that for you. So you now have time to grieve. You're not worrying about where's the money going to come from? How am I going to pay these bills? All that kind of stuff. That was very, very rewarding.
Wow, yeah, yeah. And I think, yeah, probably to see that hands on, or actually the real life results of what you're doing, I know is always a very impactful
Mm-hmm.
experience. But yeah, I think you definitely get that opportunity to, and we have our group, like you had mentioned, that, we're working through resources for individuals to create and protect wealth, and this is just right at the center point of all of that. So I think this is all great information. Where can people connect with you if they wanted to hear more about the Infinity banking system and some of the services you have to offer?
Yeah, they can get a hold of me at my website, and I'm going to put this all in the notes and the comments here for this video, but financialfortressbuilders.com, financialfortressbuilders.com. And I came up with that name because I build a fortress around your finances. I just happen to use insurance products to do that so you don't have to lose any money. My phone number is 414-762-6849, 414-762-6849. That's my office number. And I will also put my email is Brian, Brian, at financialfortressbuilders.com. And I'll put a Calendly link in there as well.
Well, this is just, again, wonderful information. So for all of you that have been watching this here today, again, please connect with Brian, really for any of those kind of needs. And thank you for watching. Take care.